You are live on 98.9 Northwest FM. This is the Tuesday review. As always, joined by James. What's happening, James? What's made you happy in the last week or so?
Oh boy, a lot going on. Yeah, I guess just being a part of, the socialist group that I'm a part of. We had a big thing going on the weekend, so that was good.
That was the street festival?
Yeah, Sydney Road Street Festival.
How did that go?
Yeah, it was good. We had.
Were you there, I guess, in a political capacity, or just as a?
I was just helping out. We had Trump head pinatas at the front, and we were,
I saw the ones James made looked amazing.
Yeah,
I didn't see him.
We had little kids smashing Trump's head, and all candy was falling out, so that was fun. And yeah, they had other discussion groups, and they had a live podcast recording and a bunch of stuff. Yeah,
cool.
So and there was a street festival, so they had music and food, and it's a whole thing they do every year. But because the thing on Sydney Road is there, the
Awesome.
Socialist Bookshop. So yeah, I was helping out there.
Excellent.
It's a good time.
Also, John McCarrol, what's made you happy in the last week or so?
Various things. But I'll keep it narrow to the new World of Warcraft expansion came out, and that's great. It's some of the best work they've done in years, so that made me happy.
Excellent. As for me, what made me happy is me, Callum, Christian, and Julian as friends of the show, went and saw the Book of Mormon on the weekend. And before that, what the specific part that made me happy, I guess, we had Fancy Hanks.
Oh, the barbecue. Yeah.
And we spent a bit of money.
It's
expensive. It's expensive, but it's
expensive.
good.
But
it is good.
We got the banquet kind of thing.
Yeah, no, when you say banquet, you expect a whole lot of food?
Look, it's not somewhere you go all the time because it is expensive. But
And it's
we enjoyed ourselves. We weren't full, but we enjoyed ourselves.
It's the really, really high-end restaurants. It's expensive plates. The food is amazing, but it's not a whole lot of food. It's like that. It's it's like a banquet, and you choose all these meats. It'd be one piece of meat you cut up and share between everyone or whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, that made me happy.
Did
it was nice.
Did Alan go with you guys?
No, and it would have been... Alan was busy, but it was Alan's night to a T.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we keep trying to get him to go there.
Yeah. Fancy Hanks, smoked barbecue meat,
yeah,
fancy cocktails, and the Book of Mormon. It seems like a night tailor-made for Alan.
Yeah.
But no, he couldn't make it, unfortunately.
Yeah. And he's not here either.
And he's not here tonight either. We had to update his firmware.
Yeah.
Being an AI, he's not always available to join us if the internet's a bit bad or he needs a bit of a software update.
Well, especially, what's going on now. The internet's going off.
Yeah.
When's it not?
Yeah, when's it not? I guess we get straight into it.
Well, do you want to talk about... Because, Nathan, this is the first time you saw Book of Mormon, right?
Yeah, we can talk about it. So we saw it at the Princess Theatre. And I'd never seen it before. And
Julian and me had.
Didn't know...
I've seen it before, but I didn't go this time.
I knew what to expect, right? South Park kind of esque comedy, musical number kind of stylings. And I think the first half was really good, and I think it gets a little bit slow in the middle and towards the end.
Okay.
The first half is really, really strong.
A lot of the great songwriting and lyricism is actually front-loaded.
Yeah.
And then the story, because this was my second watch, I was kind of not I was paying attention, but I was more able to think, oh, okay, this is how it flows throughout the whole night, rather than just trying to memorize what you're, because you know what I mean? When you're watching something for the first time, especially a show, you're trying to just take it all in. It very much dips in the middle. And then the songs just kind of, not get worse, but they get less
memorable.
You got the Salt Lake City song is the only good song in the second half.
That's a really good song. But when's the Spooky Mormon Hell Dream?
Towards the end, and that's one of the other highlights.
That's one of the highlights.
But the rest is just kind of average.
Yeah, there's a few songs towards the middle that kind of it drags a little bit. It's definitely front loaded. I will say though, some of the tap dancing or classic show tune inspired numbers are really cool. Like the dancing, all the tap dancing and stuff. I'm like, that is cool.
Yeah.
I want to see some of that old kind of classic tap dancing. And
I will say there is one tune I forgot about was the I'm Gonna Baptize You song.
Oh yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's really good. It wasn't necessarily what I expected going in.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I forgot it's mostly set in Africa.
Yeah,
obviously.
Well, because I've avoided learning about it, right? So I didn't know what I was going to expect.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
because you go in blind. Yeah, it's been years since I saw it. I think I saw it 10 or more years ago. But I remember loving it. It was so good.
Oh no, it was really good.
Yeah.
But I think it did kind of dip in a little bit in the middle, but that's okay.
I think the every time there's a musical that is like famous on Broadway, and then it comes to Australia, and it's like obviously they're not going to have all the Broadway stars doing the show here. And I always get worried. I'm like, oh, it's a shame I couldn't see the original with Josh Gad and whatever. But when I saw it, the actors they had, I'm assuming some of them or most of them were Australian. That was so good.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that. I don't know about this run, but in the original Australian run, I believe that the lead, not Josh Gad, not
the other guy.
The other guy was from the Broadway production.
I don't remember if I saw him.
So yeah, there is some crossover, but I don't know if it was like which.
But some of them
leg.
some of them might have been from the original cast. Some of them, obviously Josh Gad wasn't in the one I saw.
But yeah, I thought the performances were great.
I'm always blown away by.
Friend of Straight Christian thought that the singing was terrible.
He hated the whole night.
To be fair,
I was like, okay, Christian, your negativity is warping your perception of the entire thing.
To be fair,
the song, the vocal performances were on point.
Yeah, and especially because it's like they do it for 2 hours, and the whole it's sometimes longer depending on the musical. Like the whole night is just them singing and dancing. Yeah, and I'm like, how do they do that? You have to be so well trained and fit.
And you know what? I was shocked to find out that and I know this is a what's the word, like a perverse thing to talk about on air, but they don't get paid that much. Like when I imagine that these guys are taking home like 10 grand a day or something. Like,
oh no way,
living the high life.
No way, they get a wage.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like in my head, like these guys who are selling out theaters every day, pretty much, right?
Your main actors, they would do well. All right, they would do well.
Well, the Australian wage is like 3 to 5 grand a day or a week or whatever it is. Sorry, a week.
Yeah,
and like your average is like maybe $1 grand a week. Yeah. And like these guys have to do all. I mean, granted, technically speaking, once you're past practice and whatnot, you only work like 2 hours a night, and you're taking home $1 grand.
Well, I guess if you're a background dancer or whatever, you do multiple shows. Like you wouldn't do just.
Yeah. But isn't that crazy? I thought they were taking home way more.
No, it's a tough industry to be in, and to a certain extent,
it's a passion industry.
Yeah, it is, and you'd have to want to do it just for love of the game. Because I say most performers probably barely get by on a living wage, if at all. Yeah. If they're not doing Uber or something else on the side just to survive.
Oh yeah, even screen actors though have to hustle a lot until they.
But that's what I mean. Even screen, it's harder to get into the screen, I would imagine, than it is to be an extra on at least the theater production has, I guess, more consistent work.
Yeah. I think
versus television
I think it depends.
and film.
I mean, especially Broadway, like theater is very competitive. Whereas like how many TV shows are trying to look at the extras at any one time? Probably quite a few.
In Australia, probably not that many.
There's always stuff going on.
But anyway, I liked it. I think, and we were talking about it afterwards, and I explained the concept of the producers to Julian and Christian, that whole film. Yeah. And that had a Broadway run, and I'm like, I want to see that kind of thing as well. I would have loved to have seen the producers on
the musical
theater,
one.
The musical one.
Would have been awesome.
Especially with the actual cast.
The original.
Broderick and,
Nathan Lane.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Spam a lot, but I never got around to seeing that either.
So one of the things that frustrated me was they never released Book of Mormon on video on demand or Blu-ray or anything. And it's like, on one hand, I understand because the people who love theater always say it's when you go to see a show, you're watching a moment in time. Yeah. It's not something that you can rent and just watch. It's something you go there and you see people perform it in front of you live because that's where the magic is.
I understand that. But that's also an opinion from a place of privilege.
That's what I was going to say. Because like tickets, even cheap tickets cost quite a lot for people like us. And it's like, at least with the producers' live adaptation, they released that for us to watch at home.
Well, even if, because I was like, wouldn't it be great if they made a Book of Mormon movie? But even if they just filmed the Broadway stage play, because they did that with Hamilton. Yeah. And they put on Disney Plus, with the original Broadway cast.
That'd be sick.
And I was like, you just do that. Yeah. But I guess, in a way, it does make it more, quote-unquote, special, because when they do bring it back, you can't watch on streaming, so it's like you have to go and see it live again.
But it's a double-edged sword, because that means tickets are all the shows are pretty much all sold out all the time, and then tickets are expensive. They can charge what they want, so it still keeps the barrier of access high.
At least with Book of Mormon, the positive thing is that it seems to be an evergreen show. So like their original Broadway production, so to speak, I'm sure it's a different cast now, but it's like you can still go and see it. They have an ongoing residence still. So it's like in Australia, it tours the country, and then they might take a year off or whatever, and then they'll be back to do another.
I think it's been a while since it's been back.
Because like this year, they're doing the entirety of Australia basically.
Yeah.
Like every main city.
Yeah.
So it's like eventually, it'll, like once this tour leg is done, you might have to wait a while. Maybe like that company who's doing it will take it to New Zealand or something for a year.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how it works, but eventually it'll come back because it's like that's a part of their business operandi or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like it because it's so popular and people love it and they want to keep going to see it. Chances are it will come back around to let us watch it if we want to
100%.
again.
Feel like
Whereas Greece, like Greece came once and then I haven't heard a thing about it.
No, they came back.
No, like I saw it, but like what I'm saying is like hopefully they'll come back around again.
Yeah, no, they always do. It's like occasionally they do they do Shrek the musical, and then a few years goes past, and then they bring it back.
Yeah.
Wicked they do, and then a few years goes past, and they bring it back.
So yeah, hopefully.
Little Shop of Horrors.
I think we should have had Matt Murrams on for this discussion, being the theatre man that he is.
Yeah, he'd have inside knowledge.
I'm like,
Yeah, and
tell us how it works.
Yeah.
But that's another thing I've always wanted to kind of know. Like, say we use the Book of Mormon, for example. Are the stage and the production value, they would be higher in the Broadway play than the one that we've got? Are there much set differences between them? Are they like...
I did a research. I know a little bit about this. I did some research.
Okay.
So because the version... And anyone who knows about theatre, I apologize because this is something I read on Wikipedia and I'm just going to paraphrase it. There's like two types of two types of theatrical production. You have the ones that are meant to stay in a residence for a long time, and they have like built-in sets. Stuff's not so easy to move around because it's supposed to be there for a long time. And like, so if you were to go to the residency in New York, for example, the sets might actually look way better because they're designed. It's like if you're going to be in a location for like, let's just say 5 years, you're going to essentially build it into your theater. So like the quality that you have on show for the audience is going to be a lot higher. Yeah. Whereas the versions that we're seeing, it's like the touring version because they're going to take all those props and sets and they're going to move it to the next city over.
Yeah, because that's what I noticed about
they're
the
a little
Book of Mormon.
not cheap, but they're cheaper looking. They're a little lighter, easier to maneuver around.
Yeah,
because it's meant to be built up and then packed down.
Yeah.
Well, essentially that's what I was going into because I'm like, obviously the version we got here was more, everything was portable.
The mobile version, yeah.
We got the mobile version.
That's what it's
all the
called.
little pieces of the sets were
That's
on
not to say.
wheels
That's not to say that's cheap.
No.
Yeah. It's been so long since I saw it. I don't remember, but I remember being impressed by the stage.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. It's good quality.
Production.
But I was just kind of wondering, like the nature of the one we saw, everything was in modules.
Modular,
and they could slide and move it as they needed. But I'm
that's kind of
most musicals because it's just the one stage.
I'm talking more about like the stuff like around the sides, like the set dressing. For example, it's like meant to be, you can pack it away and then move it into the trucks and whatnot. Where they might have more intricate set dressing. If you were to go to the ones where they're going to be in the same spot for like a year plus.
But I'm also just interested in, so obviously that's we saw the Australian version of the Book of Mormon, and I'm like, I wonder what do the English like? Is it standardized?
Yes, it is. It is.
So like, if I went to the UK to see it, am I seeing the exact same stage setup, or is it going to be slightly different depending on?
No, I look again. I did a lot of it because I had all these questions too. So when I looked it up, the Book of Mormon Wikipedia page actually had a lot of this interesting stuff in it. So the way it works is that the production company that Matt Stone, Trey Parker, and the other person who's behind Book of Mormon, they set up, their entire job, because they're not in, Matt Stone, Trey Parker, and all those people aren't involved with each local production. What happens is they license the Book of Mormon out to other companies to put on a show, but they control standards. So they standardize the show, and they're in charge of script and music and making sure everyone follows the script. They have the access to the music and whatnot. So the idea is that you're seeing an authentically licensed production of the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
And if you were to go to another country, in theory, it's exactly the same.
It should look the same everywhere.
Correct, because it's all the props should be exactly the same since it's all standardized.
Yeah.
Also, props to the band. It was a live band. I don't think everyone knew it was a live band.
We saw a guy shredding.
Yeah, we were on
a Spooky Moment Hell Dream song.
Yeah, so the band was kind
of
up. The band was like underneath. The band was underneath the stage a little bit.
Yeah,
and we were kind of up high in the cheap seats. So we had a good. That meant we had a good angle to see kind of under the stage.
Oh, that's cool.
And they're all kind of like squished under there, like the I guess the guy who orchestrates the conductor. he was at the front, and then like the guitarist was literally right in front of him,
Yeah.
and so he's like doing his thing, and the guitarist is there going, like doing the like the shreds.
I don't know. Yeah, it's so.
They were so kind of cramped.
not
in
just
that,
it's not just the
Yeah.
actors and musicians.
No,
as
and they're
well.
all cramped
So
in. There's
impressive.
such a tiny space,
Yeah.
and they're like making such this big sound. It was very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, look, if I was a richer man, I had more time, I'd go to see more plays and shows and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Because
Yeah, I'm
support
going
the
with,
arts, kids.
I'm going with Mother to see Clue next week because it's
That'll be interesting.
it's Clue's last week next week.
Ah.
I believe the 15th is its final show in Melbourne
Hmm.
for who knows how long, whatever. And they're offering cheap seats, so I was like, "Who wants to go?" And then it was just Mum, so we're gonna go and check that out.
That'll be good.
But I want to partake of more shows where the opportunities.
I want to see.
online.
I've seen a few like musicals, but I don't think I've ever seen like a straight just play.
Mm.
So I think I'd be.
I think
I'd
I'd
be
like to
interested in doing.
I'd like to see Mousetrap.
There's a Mousetrap
Yeah.
stage play.
Isn't it's the OG?
That I was thinking of Mousetrap, the board game.
no.
no, you mean like the murder mystery?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
you're right.
yeah,
We don't. Do they even come to us like plays?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Because you don't see them plastered on billboards. You know what I mean? It's like mostly
sometimes you
Yeah,
do.
you have to. Yeah, no, yeah.
Again, where's Matt Marms?
The,
No, but yeah, so it was fun, and hopefully it's something we can do more in the future.
Mm.
Yeah. But,
yeah, our thing's mainly movies, so
yeah. Obviously, it's
It
more.
takes-
Yeah.
yeah, it takes priority over
Oh, 100%.
stage stuff.
Well, I guess on
It's
that
also
note,
cheaper.
it's also much cheaper.
Mm.
It can be. We'll, I guess we'll move on.
Yeah.
We also had the opportunity to watch Arco
Mm-hmm.
and French. Is it French-Japanese production?
I don't
Was
know.
it French?
I think French US.
French-US? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's it came out now it came out this Thursday, doesn't it? Yeah, last Thursday, didn't
I
it?
mean, you know, if you're overseas in a proper
Well,
Western country, it came out last
Yeah,
year.
if you're in the US or probably UK, it's already been out for a while. But here in down under, it just came out recently. It's an animated film about a little girl who lives in the year 2075, and she's kind of lonely, and her mum and dad always work. So she gets taken care of by like a nanny robot. And then a little boy like falls out of the sky basically.
As they do.
Yeah, and he's dressed in this weird rainbow costume. And she finds out he's actually from the future, like even the more distant future than she's already in, of course. And she has to help him get home. So it's like an adventure, like, kind of fun.
Yeah. And it is French-American
Yeah.
production.
Yeah. So, this was getting a lot of buzz around it, a lot of festival, word of mouth and stuff. So I really wanted to see it. And, I love animation. And I think the movie looks really nice. It's got a Studio Ghibli kind of vibe to it.
With a slight King of the Hill tinge.
A little bit, yeah.
It's the character models.
It's it's not all the way anime, but it's got I think more so the environments
It's
and the
Studio Ghibli backgrounds, King of the Hill character models.
But it warms my heart though.
yeah.
Especially the mouths get very King of the Hill in a good way.
Boy ain't right.
That boy, yeah. It's like a kid falls out of the sky dressed in rainbows. That boy, right? I think it looked really good, but also just like the adventure of it, like the two kids and the futuristic, and like she's got this little scooter, and then there's these three bumbling brothers who
Team Rocket-esque.
yeah,
behavior.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like very Ghibli-esque.
Different colours. Yeah, I love the way they all wear a different coloured suit.
Yeah, the colors are very bold, and it's also very Ghibli-esque or Miyazaki-esque in the fact that
the tone of the movie.
yeah, it's like pretty lighthearted. There's no real villain.
The threat is more the environment than anything else.
Yeah, there's danger.
And the situation they're in.
Yeah, there's
like a
obviously
race against the clock style.
Yeah. There's obviously danger and drama, but it's like there's no like guns or anything. Like it's not sort of aggressive in the same way that some like more Western animation is.
Yeah.
That, you know, Miyazaki movies are always trying to, you know, are always different from that. They're always a bit more, you know, not pacifist, but you know what I mean? Like they're less, and Miyazaki talks about it. So yeah, it's got that kind of element. It's also got some cool sci-fi stuff. Obviously, robots are always fun.
Mickey's the best.
Yeah, the nanny robot's called Mickey.
Yeah, I watched. The first thing I said to James after the film was, "I want a robot friend so bad."
Now I'm just thinking. We just talking about Book of Mormon. I'm thinking of the South Park song, "Me and My Robot Friend." You remember that?
No.
Oh my god, we have to look it up. I think is it when Cartman dresses up as Awesome-O? Do you remember that?
I remember that.
And he tricks Butters.
I remember the
thinking he's his
episode. I
robot.
don't remember the song. Yeah.
Yeah. And Butters is like, my robot friend. Anyway.
Poor Butters. Oh my god.
Yeah, so it's got some cool sci-fi. The design of stuff is cool. It's like the 2075 sequences are like a little bit retro futuristic. It's got a bit like maybe of a 1960s vibe.
100%.
Very colorful, but also, you know, it's futuristic. And then obviously the far future scenes where Arco, the boy, is from, you know, they're a bit more ambiguous in terms of technology.
It's like old sci-fi where it's like it's kind of low tech, but also low tech, but also high.
It's almost
there's like anti-gravity elements.
It's that Asimov thing, right? Where it's like any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Exactly.
Yeah. Kind of playing to that a little bit.
So it's like post-tech.
Yeah. Which is interesting because Arco comes back in time and he's got this time travel technology, which is
and he's like, what's
basically
a car?
He's basically a crystal that he can fly through the sky and it like refracts the light off his rainbow costume, and like then he can travel through time.
And I like how they don't have to explain how it works. It's just like
it's just refraction. But then when he gets to 2075 and there's robots, he's like, "What's a robot?" Yeah. So it's like he's so far from the future. It's like they've become sort of this technology technology has become this what's it called when it's like ubiquitous or like it's always been there kind of thing.
Omnipresent.
So it's like they just take it for granted, I guess, in his time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's also a little kid, so he probably doesn't really know how shit works anyway.
Yeah, probably.
There's also that angle to it.
Yeah.
Where it's just kind of just like, he takes advantage of it because he doesn't need to know how it works. He's just a kid.
Yeah, I guess that's part of the
because he wouldn't. They might have learned about this in future school, but he's not even 12 in the thing. So one of the core cruxes of the story is that he wants to be able to fly and go
travel
through time. But he's not 12, and 12 in this future thing,
you have to be
no time travel until you're 12.
Yeah,
it's a hard rule.
Yeah. And so he sneaks out.
He gets jealous, I guess, and then he's like, I'm going to do this on my own. And,
and of course he gets lost and ends up in 27.5. So it's like a fun, light, magical, kind of whimsical, wholesome adventure. Some really cool design. I like they don't actually like sit down and there's not a lot of like exposition about it, but it is like it's clearly in a time where like there's an environmental catastrophe like every other day. And we just happen to have technology where we're kind of kept they have these like shield domes and cleaner robots and police and fireman robots who can sort of just keep that, which even though they don't talk about it in the film, that's really interesting if you think of like we're kind of headed that way where we're going to end up in a world where there's just floods and fires all the time.
Yeah, but robots won't be helping us.
No. Well, one of the interesting things in the film is when Arco is talking about what life's like where he comes from, or when he comes from. He explains that they live up high so that the earth can rest. Yeah. So I'm presuming that it's like the damage to the earth was so severe that it's like the plan is to leave it alone.
Yeah. But I like that they don't really explore it, but it's very clear that, you know, the environmental, the impact humans have on the environment, it's obviously getting worse and worse. And yes, the time in 2075, what was the girl's name?
Oh,
I've forgotten.
Oh my God.
But in her time, like
it's on the tip of my
Iris.
Iris, that's
Yes.
right. Oh, yes, I remember this because I remember in the IMDb trivia, the Spanish...
I knew it. I couldn't find it on the credits when I was looking before, but it is Will Ferrell and Andy
Yeah.
Samberg.
Yeah,
It's in
and
the
Flea.
credits. And Flea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even
As
know
the
that.
brothers,
There you go.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
those voices are familiar. One
Yeah.
of them sounds like Will Ferrell, I swear.
Yeah. They're the
Yeah.
bumbling brothers, yeah.
And then I could only find the French voice actors, and I'm just like, maybe they just did the English too, and I don't know. And I just didn't know. There
Yeah,
you go.
Mark Ruffalo was the dad, and
Yeah.
Natalie Portman was the mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was all merged into Mickey, which was really cool.
Yeah, the nanny robot has both their voices, which I thought that's another cool sort of
Yeah.
technology, sci-fi,
Yeah.
world building kind of thing, where it's like the parents are always away, so the nanny robot has both of their voices, so it's like I guess the child still has their parents'
Proximity.
influence. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that
that's
was
also
really cool.
not a very good future. It's kind of just like,
No,
my
I
parents,
think
my
this
parents are
sounds
away
like- this
all
sounds
week,
like-
and
look,
the
this-
robot watches
that's-
me.
This
and
sounds like the
baby.
copium of a man who doesn't have a robot friend.
see, Callum wants the capitalist so this is the point I was getting at, is there's always these environmental, disasters. The damage we've done to the climate has gotten so bad that it's like constantly the planet is just on fire or flooding or whatever. But we've created enough technology that we can stay sort of comfortable and isolated enough from that.
And not address the
Yeah.
not really address the fires.
Exactly. And we literally like leave our children to be raised by robots. Like all the teachers at the
Yeah.
school were robots. And so it's this fun, whimsical world, but underneath it, there's this sadness.
Pretty grim.
which which again, they don't really explore this in the movie. There's no like dialogue or exposition about it, but it's definitely there. And I think again, it points to the Studio Ghibli kind of Miyazaki-ness of it. It's like, yes, it's this fun adventure. These two kids kind of trying to escape and get back to the future. And they go on this adventure. And there's chase scenes and fun robot bits. But also, underneath there is this really sad kind of
even
thing.
if you
And just the fact that Iris is just really lonely, which is why when Arco comes, she's like, hell yeah, I got a friend kind of thing.
well, I mean, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But if to stay on the environmental angle, if you think about how much resource, and I know that it's just a movie, but I can't help myself. We're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive.
Yeah.
If you think about how much resources it takes to create each robot, the kind of metals they'd be using, the chips, the required materials for the chips itself, it's like no wonder their Earth is being destroyed. Because as much as I want a robot friend, those robots would cost thousands, and they ripping the guts out of the Earth. Because this is one city. Presumably, you got an entire world full of these, full of people who have robot nannies and robot this and that. All the teachers in the entire school are all robots. So we get this great sequence where it's like a chase scene through the school. So, and until this scene, we see one teacher robot, and he's like, it's funny because they have like this balding head kind of thing going on.
Yeah, he's got like the...
But then it turns out there's like, 50 teachers in the school.
Oh yeah, heaps of identical robots. Yeah.
And it's like, how much does that cost to produce? How much does it cost to upkeep on the electrical grid element, even if we assume that they have renewable sources? So it's like, the environmental cost of having their comfortable future is probably what got them into the problem in the first place.
Yeah, well, we're seeing that with AI now, with the environmental impact it has. So you can
Stay
imagine
local.
Yeah, so you
your
can
models.
you can imagine if not only is there AI, like more advanced AI, but then on top of that, like robotic bodies and stuff like that. But yeah, it's very clear in the movie that all this stuff, even though on the surface is like fun and light, and Iris can sort of be on her own with the robot, and everything's kind of safe because there's police robots. It's like it's a bit dystopic in a way. It's like kind of sad. And again, I don't want to spoil the ending, but they kind of hint, like you were saying, they hinted that by the time you get to Arco's time in the distant future, it's like the Earth has been so sort of destroyed that they don't even really live on the surface anymore.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, the technology has just become a part of Arco's life in a way where there's no active knowledge or sort of
Well, it's interesting because like one way of interpreting it is because it was technology that got them into that problem in the first place. Maybe they developed, like Nathan was saying, you know, all the sufficiently advanced technologies like magic. Maybe they developed alternative technology, which would explain his confusion.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not that the technology isn't there, it's just that they couldn't continue to use it because it was killing the planet.
Yeah.
So now, like, there's so little resources on their planet that they have to go through time to get resources. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, why would they travel, all of them travel through time all the time? It's because they can't, there's nothing in their time for them to live for. They have to go through time to get their food and whatnot.
They reference that at the start of the film. Like, they come back with some, like, seeds or some
like, look what we found.
Yeah,
and that's dark as hell.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
But one of the problems I have with the film that I can't talk about without getting into spoilers is that it's like Iris is so lonely, and yet she has her baby brother. She's got her friend from school.
The baby brother doesn't count. He can't talk.
No,
he can't keep you company.
But she's got her friend from school.
Yeah.
She just wanted something a bit foreign.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She was like,
she wanted
bored.
a life. Yeah.
I want.
But
I'm like, but that's all. A lot of kids' movies do this, but it's like, oh, you know, you're bored at home. Let's introduce the fantastical. But it's like the lens at which, and not just in Arco, but other kids' films. It's like when you look at the lives that will be destroyed if the kids get to have their whimsical day of fun. Like, man, a lot of suffering just because a little girl's like, man, I'm bored.
Yeah.
But it's like, again, it's not an Arco problem. It's a kids' movie problem. Yeah.
Well, it's a trope of any sort of sci-fi fantasy. It's like someone's life is boring. Enter the, you know, supernatural or sci-fi force that comes and changes their whole life. And it's like, you're the chosen one or whatever.
Even the
like
Matrix.
It's like...
Even the Matrix, when you think about it. Neo's bored and he's like, oh, what's the Matrix? I'm going to figure this out.
Well, yeah, it's like, you know, his life was so terrible because he had an office job. Yeah, and it's like...
I live in the 90s with a high-paying office job.
Actually, I think people have talked about this before, but just recently it's been even more relevant. It's like people like, you know, the bit in The Matrix where Morpheus says like, oh, we think The Matrix is based off like the end of the 20th century when like humanity was at its peak before everything kind of...
Yeah, I saw a meme.
And it's like, that. Oh yeah, they were so right.
Yeah, I saw people have been sharing memes about that.
It's been more than 25 years, and it's like, oh, the more we go on, it's like, yeah.
I was talking about the peak. I was literally talking about this with my dad last night. And I was like, you know, it's like the 90s were pretty great. I was talking about the Y2K documentary, which we reviewed a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, the 90s were such full of optimism.
There was an optimism.
Pre 9/11, you know, like that kind of environment. Yeah. And my dad thought about it for a while. And he's like, yeah. He was like, well, in Australia, it was like Hawking and Keating or whatever. And he was like, they were pretty good days. I'm like, yeah, man. But it's like we've seen the similar jokes about Fight Club, where it's like the guy's I'm bored with my high-paying office job. Oh, I don't have to do much work. I'm so frustrated. I'm like, oh man, they wouldn't survive a day of the crazy 2020s.
Oh god, I wish I had a time traveling rainbow suit.
Yeah, me too.
Actually, that was another thing, is because the time travel is kind of like this, not magical, but you know, it's not just a machine. Yeah, like
it's essentially magical. Yeah.
Yeah, but they have to refract the light off, you know, his costume, and he's got this special crystal and thing. And so it's like, he has to like go really fast and jump into water, so that, and when it's light outside, so it creates kind of like a rainbow effect. So that's how he travels. So there's fun scenes of them trying to figure that out, which I thought were really, really cool. Yeah. And made it a bit different than just, you know, having to do the old Back to the Future type thing. I think
the only issue I had with it, I just straight up, I wasn't a fan of the ending.
Yeah, me neither. We can't talk about that without getting into spoilers.
Spoiling it.
But the ending was, if you think about the entirety of the film, the ending is the dumbest ending they could have come up with.
Again, we can't because we can't spoil it. We can't really discuss it.
In my opinion, I'm sure people might have different opinions.
Yeah, I wasn't 100% on board. I can like me and Callum discussed it, and I can understand where he's coming from. I didn't have maybe as much of a problem with it as he did. But yeah, I can definitely see the issue with it, and they definitely could have done a few different things.
Yeah, like you can have a cost at the end. Yeah. But the way they handled it was it felt really absolute. And I think that it's like when you're dealing with a advanced society which has mastered time travel, you need to take that into account when you're writing your screenplay.
Well, that's also another problem with any time travel property, regardless of, movie or comic book or whatever. It's like as soon as you introduce time travel, you introduce a level of suspension of disbelief where you kind of just have to go, okay, it doesn't make sense if you think about it, but for this story...
Well, if we look at Terminator handles it pretty well because it's like one way, essentially. It's like,
but it's still got the thing of like, well, if they go back and change the past, then does that mean that the future didn't happen? You can't go back in time.
Anyway, it is settled science, James. It branches into a multiverse.
Yeah, fair enough.
But my point is,
then there is an alternate universe where there's a different Arco ending, and we just got this one because we're in the darkest timeline.
Correct.
Also true.
But to be fair, it's not the darkest ending.
No. It just doesn't make sense considering the level of mastery that's implied.
Yeah,
is my opinion.
Yeah. Anyway,
fair enough. Yeah.
Without spoiling it, we can't really go too much into that.
Yeah, but overall, I think it was a really good movie. I don't think it was.
It's very creative.
Yeah, I don't think it was great. Some people, because when these movies come out the festivals and you hear a lot of buzz, especially because it's been out in America for a long time, you hear a lot of buzz. So maybe it was a little bit overhyped, but I think it's definitely worth seeing. It was great on the big screen, looked and sounded nice.
Yeah.
I would be interested in seeing the French version, like the French language version. Because even though...
Lots of ha ha ha.
Yeah. I think...
Le Mickey.
Le Mickey.
I feel like even though it was like a co-production, I think most of the crew was
French,
French, and so I don't know if they shot it originally to be in English or because it's anime kind of movements. It's hard to kind of tell.
It's one of those things where it's like it has a pretty stacked cast in French as well, but it's like because the English dub cast is so famous, it kind of just overshadows maybe.
Oh yeah, and that's obviously on purpose, is like to sell it in America. And Natalie Portman came on board as a producer, not only as an voice actor,
and Mark Ruffalo, I think.
And I think
maybe
probably the original version is probably the French version.
Yeah, so I'd hope if they release it on physical media, I hope they have both tracks because I would like to.
Oh, they'd have to.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, but sometimes they do. That's like, true. Well, for
the
American release.
Bare bones anime releases here, maybe.
Yeah. So
you're lucky if you get English dub at all.
Yeah.
Or I'd rather keep the Japanese. Like, in most cases of animes, it's like if you have to choose one
if
or the other, you probably want to keep the original language.
Yeah. So I'd be interested in hearing that.
I think it's as good as a lot of the good Ghibli movies. Obviously, it's not as good as like the classics, but like there's a lot of Ghibli movies, and I've seen a few, and it's like this is kind of up there. So it's like I think that's a testament to how hard they worked on it, since Western animation generally doesn't stand up to like the Ghibli scale.
Especially because we don't get a lot of 2D animated like feature films anymore.
Yeah, and this is more in an anime style tradition of storytelling, which is I hope we kind of move more into that.
On that note,
a lot of Western animation, and I'm using that in quotation marks, it's like 3D. We don't get that much.
We've talked
2D
about it. Like
25
years ago, they kind of stopped making 2D animated movies and they switched everything to 3D.
Well,
and
did you see the Gorillaz' latest music video? Was 2D hand-drawn
animation?
animation?
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, there's supposed to be a Gorillaz movie for the last 20 years, and it just never came out. And then apparently
it's hard to teach them to draw, James.
I think they wrote it. They wrote it and went to Netflix, and Netflix was like, no. Which in hindsight is probably a good thing because we're Netflix.
That's fine. We can always hope out for the Simpsons movie, 2027, baby.
Yuck.
You never know.
Not for me. I will be sick that day when you go to see it and when you do record the episode.
You never know.
We'll just have you in the studio with the film critic voice going, it stinks. It stinks.
Worst Simpsons movie ever.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say the first one already the worst one.
No, it's pretty good.
No, it's not, Nathan. One more thing about Arco. I was just saying before is the artist who designed like the characters and stuff is Spanish, and in Spanish, the word for rainbow is arco iris.
Oh wow!
So they split it in half, and it's arco and then iris. So
nice.
I'm sure it's not pronounced that way. Arco iris maybe.
Yeah.
Arcoiris.
But still a nice little Easter egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Yeah. So it's a nice movie. I think. maybe for a bit older kids, like
I wouldn't
over maybe 7 or 8.
Yeah, older kids for sure. Younger kids, it might be
For really little kids, it might be a bit slow.
a bit slow, also a bit heavy at times.
A little
maybe.
bit.
Maybe a
Not too
PG.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not violent. It's
No,
just
but
there's
just in terms of, you can imagine a little like
Yeah.
5-year-old like being really antsy, like
intimidating scenes. Yeah. There's some.
No, but just
also it is
not-
a bit slow. For
yeah, because
kids
there are a
that
lot of
age,
scenes
Oh,
of just
oh,
like
I see.
characters
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
and talking, and then like it's more like a Ghibli film. It's a bit slow.
Too many ruminations on friendship for a 5-year-old.
Also, yeah, exactly. Also, like a Ghibli film, there's a lot of like environmental, like we just talked about the environmental like messaging and stuff, but also just stuff about birds and bugs and
the talking to
rivers
birds
and-
stuff awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, of
That's-
course I talk to birds.
that's
Why
another
don't
magic.
you?
Yeah, that's another sort of magical thing that they never explain. It's like
They
I
don't
guess,
have to explain it.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it's so far in the future where they just figure out how to talk to birds.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we won't spoil any more
No.
of it. It was a good movie. I think it was.
Go watch it if you can.
Yeah.
And again, support independent
Yep.
animated
Yeah.
films. It's
Yeah,
important.
2D animators.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Good
We'll
stuff.
go to a very quick break and be back right after this. You are back on 98.9 Northwest FM. This is the Tuesday Review. What do you have for us, James?
So I have watched another sort of semi-recent release. I saw it a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't get a chance to talk about it. Is Nirvana the Band, the show, the movie?
Oh,
Did
I
you
was
see it at Brunswick?
No, I saw it at Nova.
I was excited about this movie, and I just missed the boat.
Yeah, it only had a few showings.
So I don't know what it is. I've
So-
seen people all online talk about it, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never heard of this in my
So,
life.
there's two Canadian sort of comedian. They're like a comedy group. Jay McCarrol and Matt Johnson. Do you remember Matt and Mara, that movie we watched?
Yes.
And yes.
The guy who plays Matt is Matt Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're two Canadian sort of musician comedians. They have a comedy duo called Nirvana the Band, but it has an extra N in Nirvana. And they had a like a web series in like 2007, 2008. And that kind of,
Was that called Nirvana the Band, the show?
that was Nirvana the Band, the show.
and
yeah.
now they have Nirvana
And
the
then-
Band, the show, the movie.
Yeah, and then in 2017, 2018, they had like a Viceland show. I don't know if anyone remembers Viceland, but that was like more of a proper TV show.
Before Vice turned into weird.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
now it's, yeah. And that was Nirvana the Band, the show as well. And then now they've got Nirvana the Band, the show, the movie. So this is the sort of feature film version of that.
Are they going to go into Nirvana the Band, the show, the movie, the podcast after this? And then just discuss the movie?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Show the movie, the production.
I was thinking
Yeah.
they should have done Nirvana the Band, the show, the movie, the video game. Like they should have done like a tie-in because they're very video gamey. So one of the cool things about Matt and Jay is like they're very a lot of their like. So the whole premise is they're playing like heightened versions of themselves. They live in Canada, in Toronto, and there's a like music venue called the Rivoli, which they keep trying to get a show at. And instead of just like calling and saying like, hey, can we sort of come and, do a show? They always like come up with like some crazy scheme of like how to get in. And so each episode of the show is like them running around coming up with some insane plan of like how to sneak in or how to trick the Rivoli into getting them a show. And the movie is just like an extended, larger version of that. But what's cool about them is like they kind of have this, I guess millennial, like maybe young Gen X millennial kind of humor where there's a lot of like movie references and a lot of video game references. And one of their big things is, especially with the web series, because it was released on their website, there was no like copyright sort of issues. So like there's just a lot of music and movie clips and video games like footage that they just like implement into their sort of comedy episodes.
Yeah.
And even on like the Viceland episodes where it's like they're on TV and they obviously had to have some sort of legal there had to be some, so there's a lot of loopholes that they could use, and so it's like part of that kind of thing. So yeah, the movie is just a really big sort of crazy extension of that. And it's interesting too because the web series came out 2007, 2008, and then the TV series was like 2017, 2018.
So it's like 10 years
and
between
then,
projects.
yeah, and then the new movie, I think 2025, it sort of premiered, and
so
it's
almost 10 years between
so it's like
projects,
these 20. So it's like they could do another one in 10 years. I think it would be cool.
So Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, the sequel.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And yeah, also one of their main things is that they it's like a lot of improv, and they do a lot of like man on the street kind of Borat-y kind of stuff where they go and they like real people on the street are like implemented into their movies.
Well,
almost like, not Impractical Jokers, but that kind of element.
Yeah,
of like,
I read stuff about this movie that some of what they got on film is probably against the law.
Oh, a lot of it is just insane.
And they're kind of just like, how did this get approved?
Yeah. So
It didn't.
yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, they do a lot of funny stuff of like, running out into the crowds and like acting out their scene with props and stuff. But like all the extras are just real people on the street. And so they get genuine reactions. And when they talk to people and ask them things, like those are real people who weren't actors. And then they kind of improvise and they edit around that. So it's like if someone says something unexpected, they go, that's really funny. Let's investigate this avenue.
Yeah.
So the movie is like this, and the show and now the movie is like this living thing of like, yeah, they might have a general outline, but it just changes depending on their improv and depending on who they run into and depending on how their stunts go, because they do these crazy stunts out in public, in places they're not supposed to be. I don't know if I won't spoil it for you guys, but there's a really big stunt at the beginning where it's like, yeah, is this legal? Like, how did they pull this off? That's crazy. And it's kind of like, well, if the stunt didn't happen, they would have had to figure out another way to sort of implement that sort of plot point
and move the story.
But it ended up happening in a way that was completely unexpected to them. So when you're watching it, you're like, oh my god, how did this happen? How did no one notice? So yeah, it becomes this kind of living thing and this really crazy.
Very cool.
Yeah, but it's not in a mean-spirited way. It's not like, haha, we're gonna prank these people. It's like they're making a movie with as little resources as possible and using like what they can get access to, and that means like sometimes just breaking into a place or like sneaking into a concert and being like, yeah, we're the band, and like getting up on stage, and it's like, or just straight up asking someone who's doing a concert or an event, it's like, yeah, can we come and film here and pretend we're the thing.
It's one I'm definitely looking forward to watching when it comes to
I
streaming.
think it's also really good because I don't think you need to be a fan of the shows to like the movie. I think it helps because there's like Easter eggs and obviously recurring jokes and characters and whatever. I think it's just a really fun, crazy movie that you can watch on its own. And then, like I said, there's a lot of video game and movie references. It's a lot of Back to the Future type stuff.
Do you think
there's a time travel kind of?
Do you think it'll come to streaming eventually, or if parts of the movie are legally murky, do you think they'll kind of just leave it off and be like, I don't want to touch it, just in case?
I think I'm not 100%, but I think they got everything they got in the movie is legally. Technically, they were allowed to not to do, but to like show in.
So my understanding is that even if you don't have a permit to film somewhere, showing that film product is not illegal.
Yeah, I mean, so and because in Australia, like we only got like a few like special screenings. I think that's more, just the fact that it's not this massive.
It's an indie film. Yeah.
It's a very small indie film. So I think it'll get a physical release and a streaming release at some point. I really hope it does.
I'm sure.
That was really, really, really funny and a really great time. And actually, because they were doing these special screenings, and there were only a few of them. One was at Brunswick, one was at Nova. I was actually thinking, I was like, if I could make it to both, that would have been cool, because I would like to watch it again. But when I saw it at the Nova, one, it was sold out, and so you have all the people who are like fans, and so everyone, like the audience is all on board, and everyone's laughing at the inside jokes and stuff. So that's always good. But also we got free posters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got like Nirvana the Band show, the movie poster, so that was cool too.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're almost out of time for tonight.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us.
Real
everyone.
quick, with Nirvana the Band, the show, the movie, apparently someone from A24, I believe, accidentally emailed them or CC'd them on some Mighty Supreme marketing thing.
Yeah.
So they knew what the poster was for Mighty Supreme before it was released to the public. So one of their movie posters was a complete imitation of the Mighty Supreme poster. And someone was like, how did you do that? And they were like, someone made a mistake and sent them a PDF with the thing on it.
Yeah.
So they ripped it off as quickly as they could. And then the A24 couldn't do nothing about it.
Yeah, that's exactly like part of there. It's like just taking
Yeah.
any opportunity and like anything like, something crazy happens. It's like, oh, we've got to take
Capitalize.
advantage. Yeah, yeah. It's really interesting, especially if you're
So
like a filmmaker.
we should embody them a little bit more than we do.
Yeah, it's like if you're a filmmaker or whatever, it's like just
Let's go out and do it.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, something's happening. Let's go and film there and sort of see how we can use it and see how we can shape it through editing and stuff. Yeah, it's really, really impressive and interesting. And yeah, you don't see a lot of stuff like that, especially on the big screen.
Again, the whole motif of today is, indie movies.
Good indie movies.
Good
Yeah,
indie
we always
movies.
talk about indie
Yeah.
movies are the interesting ones.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening, everyone. We're just about out of time for tonight. Please like and share the Tuesday Review Facebook page, Instagram page, Threads page, YouTube, wherever else. Blue
Use
Sky.
Our website, which we will be overhauling on the weekend.
All the socials are at Tuesday Review AU. Also, I guess follow us on TikTok. We haven't done anything with TikTok yet because I think you need to.
We've made an
film
account,
stuff
but
and
yeah, we're
we got unbanned.
we're
Made an
hoping
account.
we're hoping to do some video stuff. We'll see.
Yeah,
It's still early in the year.
yeah.
TuesdayReviewer.com has just been sort of put up, so it's
Yep.
still
Still fresh, don't judge it.
yeah, it's still a bit janky. But eventually we'll have that sort of polished up a bit.
Yeah. Friend of the show, Alex, also might be an irregular/semi-regular contributor to
Oh,
our
be good.
website with movie reviews
Hmm.
and stuff like that in a text-based format. So keep an eye on the website. We're also on Letterboxd. I'm Nathan B_90.
I'm channeldrifter.
I'm Callum Tuesday.
And Alum's is Alum20, but he never uses it.
Never uses it, so there's no
Um,
point.
We'll be back next week. Thanks for listening, everyone. Adios, cousins.